NMLS number 65084, equal housing lender. Woo!
As an adult, don't we all miss spring break? Nothing like taking a week off from all your responsibilities. Well, here's the next best thing for adults, a spring break from house payments. SaveWithConrad.com can help you get rid of all your credit card debt, just like that. We're routinely helping our listeners save $5, $6, $7, even $800 a month. And you don't need perfect credit or money out of your pocket to do this, but check this out, no house payments for 2 months. It's SaveWithConrad.com.
Summer's coming. Are you ready to unveil your beach bod? Well, Manscaped is here to ensure your body is ready for the wild with their game-changing full-body grooming and hygiene products. Don't be the guy at the beach with the Austin Powers chest hair. And if you grew some winter man tits, hey, come on now. Talking to me directly, the least you can do is make sure they're hairless. It's time to get ready for hot guy summer by going to manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping with the code POA. I'm having me a bit of a hot guy summer. We're going to the beach, and by God, yes, I will be taking all my Manscaped goodness with me. Make sure that my beard's in line. Make sure that I ain't got no stragglers on my titty hairs and all that good stuff. It's wonderful. I've used them for years. I love them. Also at the beach, what will be good is the ball deodorant that they have given us. That's going to come in real handy because you don't always want to take a shower before you go gorge on oysters. You know what I'm saying? It's wonderful products. You should get them all. Trae, tell them a little bit more about our friends at Manscaped.
Manscaped is dedicated to helping you increase your confidence and level up your full-body grooming game with the Performance Package 4.0. The kit comes with the essential Lawnmower 4.0, waterproof, cordless body trimmer, and a ton of other liquid formulations to round out your grooming routine. Whether you're trimming your chest or the treasure chest in your pants, this is the best trimmer on the market. Their trimmer features a ceramic blade designed to cut hair on loose skin and to reduce grooming accidents thanks to advanced skin-safe technology. You can even trim an arrow pointing to the promised land if you're bold enough. Inside the Performance Package, you'll also find the Manscaped Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and Crop Reviver Ball Toner, an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer because we know how painful chafing can be when you're wearing that bathing suit all day long. Nobody likes nose hairs, guys, so their package also comes with the Weed Whacker 2.0, a hell of a product if I do say so myself, and also you get 2 free gifts. The Shed Travel Bag, a $39 value, and the patented high-performance reduced chafing Manscaped Boxers. If you're wearing sandals, you need to get the Manscaped Shears 2.0 Nail Kit because having the right tools for grooming is essential. So do yourself a favor and always use the right tools for the job. Here's what you do, guys. You can get 20% off plus free shipping with the code POA at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code POA at manscaped.com. Trim your chesticles with the besticles. What's up, Airheads? We're back in the virtual Airstream studios. It's your boy, Trae Crowder, and your other boy, your bestest boy, Corey Ryan Forster over there. What are you doing? What is that? Is that a blouse? You got a, what is that?
No, look here. Look, this is my, in honor of the Met Gala, I'm going tummyless. I got my midriff showing. And really that's just because my wife's dress don't fit. It wasn't.
Oh, that's a dress? Nice.
Yeah.
Is that
it's a dress.
A straight up dress, or is that one of them, what do they call them? Rompers, or what are those called?
Let me back up. So, look at here. See?
Okay, so yeah, that's
it's not
a dress.
Got the legs. It's a dress. It's not a romper.
Yeah. Them rompers. I've worn a romper on the show before a couple of times.
Rompers
I think they kind of do hit. There's just I can't get over the impracticality regarding like the bathroom situation or anything with a romper. You got to get ass naked if you got to sit down at least. And women always have to sit down and toilet time, right? So. The amount of inconvenience they willingly subject themselves to, I guess, for our benefit, what do you mean willingly?
No. Hear me out. Because one of them is the pockets and jeans things. Every woman I know wants pockets and jeans. They just don't put them in there for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, the romper, that's on them. You're right. That is on them, and they're doing it for us. The high heels.
Are they, though? Let me ask you that. What do you think
they're
about
not.
that?
You're right. They're not. You know what? That's a great fucking point. One time.
The truth is it's more about other women, isn't it? Like, or maybe they tell themselves it's about
No,
men, but what every man knows is just like you could be wearing a burlap sack, we'll still go in. Like we don't give a
yeah.
shit.
I
Like
used to have a
we,
bit.
we don't care. We don't even notice the shoes you're wearing or any of that stuff. Every woman like running joke is, she get her hair cut and her husband don't even notice. I've never noticed one of Katie's haircuts a single time in our 13-year relationship, right? And so we're oblivious, and we just the sweet way to interpret that is we just love you for who and what you are and how you look, and we don't need any of that. We don't care about all that other shit. So really, it ain't us, I don't think.
I know for a fact it's
them.
not, because you might remember the bit I used to have when we first met where I was talking about women complaining about being in heels, and I was just talking about, I was like, you understand that we'll fuck you in a pair of Asics, you know what I mean? Like, we don't care.
Yeah.
And then the crescendo of the bit was, I was like, frankly, you don't even have to have feet. You know what I mean? And then, like, I did it a bunch, and it always did well, definitely with the men. And I had several women come up to me, and they're like, "Oh, honey, it's so sweet that you think we wear that shit for you." But frankly, I find that to be a bit dumber. Like,
so what did they mean?
They do it for for other women. They're doing it
so
for
they're
other women.
acknowledging that it's for other women.
Yes, it's for other women. They want to they want to look good for other women, and like, I don't know. I guess I get it. Well, when I wear what I wear.
It's not just they want to. This is me just getting into real man territory here.
Okay.
But it's not that they like want to look nice for other women. It's that they all in their head are like, I know these bitches gonna be judging me if I come in here wearing the same dress I wore last, April the 13th or whatever, right? And that's what they got in their head. They're like, I know what you gonna say if I wear the same thing, or if it don't, my shit don't match or whatever, and I ain't letting that bitch get one over on me. I'll show her, like, right. It's not like
it's like
that. Yeah, right.
It's 100%. Dude, I broke up with a girl. We were 18, so it's still technically breaking up, but it's not like we meant much to each other. We were going to prom together, and she went to a different school, right? And so I was going out with her and her grandma prom dress shopping. All right. So we get there, she finally picks out this prom dress that she wants, and I'm like, oh, it's beautiful, yada, yada, yada. So they go by, and then she goes, okay, now we have to go get the other one. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And her grandma, too, was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And she goes, we're going to 2 different proms. I can't wear the same dress to both proms. Right. And so I was like, well, yeah, you can. Like, it's totally fine. But I was like, you know what? I'm out of this. I don't care. It's your dress, whatever. But then the grandma was like, honey, she was trying not to embarrass her, but she was like, honey, we can't really afford that, because they couldn't. She's like, we can't really. And she fucking pitched a fit in the middle of this bridal store or whatever. And I just go, because you know how I am with grandmas. Like, she was disrespecting her grandma. And I go, you know what? You just wear that dress to your prom, and I will not be there. And that's how that worked. And then 2 weeks later, she's like, I'm pregnant, But that's, she wasn't.
What? Okay.
For the record. No, she wasn't. Right. She fucking lied, because this one night
said she was pregnant with your baby.
With my baby. All complete fucking fabrication. She gets me all worried, and I go take a bunch of Percocets because I'm pissed off. She's telling me, she's like, I'm taking the test right now. It's positive. I'm in the basement of my buddy's house, just punching the metal pole in the basement, just so mad. I go over to her house, right? And I just go, sweetie, I'm not going to say the name, sweetie, I need to see the test. I just need to see it. I need to see that. If it's positive, I'll help you take care of this. She's like, I don't have to show you that. I don't have to show you that. And I was like, yes, you do. If you're going to say that you're pregnant and want me to do anything about it, I'm going to need to see that test, right? So she keeps going to saying, it's not your right to see that test. And I'm like, oh, it'll be my right when it comes time to pay for that little motherfucker. I know that much. So I was like, show me the test. If you don't show me the goddamn test, I'm going to assume you're not pregnant. You'll never fucking see me again. She goes, I have no reason to show you the test. So get back over to my buddy's house, who lived 2 doors down, took a shit in a Route 44 Sonic cup, pissed in it, stirred it up, went and poured it on her goddamn windshield. She went to prom alone.
Y'all was wild, dog. That
Percocets, dude.
Yeah, that'll do it, I guess. I reckon. Not that Selena ain't have Percocets, but just the way you talk about your high school buddies and shit that went down back then and stuff. I'm like, man, we was tame, I guess. But everything about Chickamauga is that way. It's always been that way. The whole history of our relationship. You talk about Chickamauga as a place, as a concept, anything, stories from it. I'm always just like, God damn, what is this? Plus fucking fucking redneck Narnia or something.
Yeah,
It's just
it
like
is.
a whole other world, But so one more thought on the whole. Oh, men don't care what you wear, whatever. People, it's for other women, yada yada. People do notice. I'm not going to sit here and lie like they don't. Here's how I know, because recently I had decided. So over the past months, I mean, hell, years at this point, I have been losing a bunch of weight, and I've lost a bunch of weight from where I started previously, and a nice change of pace for me. And instead of fatting out of most of my wardrobe, which I've done countless times in my adulthood, I have thinned out of a lot of my wardrobe, right? And also I hate buying clothes, but so I've got a small handful of shirts that I feel like actually fit me since I've lost weight, right? And I just decided, I was like, some people do that uniform thing. Like they wear a uniform basically, which means like they always wear the same thing. It's like the clothes are washed. They'll have different iterations of the same shirt, but they look the same, jeans and a white t-shirt or whatever, something simple. I was like, I'm going to take the same outfits with me to every show, all my tour dates. I'm just going to keep it simple. I'll wear the same, I wash them in between runs, but take the same ones with me. And I haven't been doing this very long, for maybe 3 or 4 runs or something like that. And we were in Arkansas this weekend, and this old boy as hell, good guy, fan of ours though. But like old boy and his woman, right, came up to me, and we were talking to him. We said something like, so you want to take a picture? And the old boy goes, yeah, we'll take a picture, even though Trae's wearing the same goddamn shirt he was 2 weeks ago. And, in wherever I saw them at. I don't remember where they were at. They were at a different show a few weeks ago in some other city, Texas or something, or Oklahoma, I think it was. And they're like, yeah, even though Trae's wearing the same goddamn shirt. And I was like, that's a wild thing for you. Know what I mean? It's like
a dude to say.
A dude, a redneck sort of dude, like a redneck archetype dude, just, being like, is that the same shirt you were wearing last Friday? That seems...
Unless he followed it up with like, hell yeah, boy, that's practical. Fuck him. You know what I mean?
No, he was busting my balls for it, which is totally fine. It's also, it's funny that like people do notice, you know what I mean?
Yes, they do.
Because they notice, but whatever. People notice everything. This is an apt discussion for this episode because we are going to be, I don't know about celebrating, but we're going to be talking about one of the fanciest events in all of fancidom, directly related to fashion, the pinnacle of fashion. In fact, the Met Gala or Gala.
I think it depends
Gala's
on
fancier.
I think it depends on if it's like if you call a violin or a fiddle is whether, like, if you're the type of person that calls it a fiddle, you'll probably say gala, and then the other one's like
gala.
gala.
I didn't even think of gala.
Okay, what'd you say? Gala?
I said gala or gala.
Oh, to me it was either gala or gala. Gala hadn't.
You didn't even think of gala? I feel like gala. To me, gala is like the fanciest version.
Yeah,
I
guess
head.
you're right. In my
gala.
No,
see, that's gala, darling.
Yeah, that's why it hasn't even. That one didn't even cross my mind. Like, I look at it as like, I call it the Met Gala, and then I think some rednecks might call it the gala. I think a lot of people would call it the gala.
Yeah. Emphasis on the gay.
Right? It is fucking real gay though. I mean,
it's very gay.
And that's fine. That's totally cool.
It is fine. Anyway, that happened this week. It seemed like good fodder for the show, so we're just going to talk about it. Another thing that's happening this week that we intend to talk about, and if we don't this week, we'll do it next week for sure. The coronation is finally happening. Those two things seemed
Sunday.
Appropriate and topical subjects for the show, so we're just going to discuss those, do a little reviews of some of the who wore it best at the Met Gala, shit we're in no way qualified to talk about, and that will make this episode a little different than usual. The normal segments we're not going to do because we wanted to cover these things, and we feel like we're long-winded enough that it probably would be too much to try to pack all that and a pro-show and a Venn diagram all into one episode. So that is the plan for this episode.
Especially when that part took 15 minutes.
Exactly. Before we even get to any of that, I have a little anecdote for you and for the airheads out there. Okay. This will make sense eventually as to why it's relevant to this show. I promise you. So people that follow me on social media may have seen recently, I've been cataloging a fun little experience here at the Crowder home in our backyard. Katie discovered a hummingbird's nest. And hummingbirds little as hell. So like the whole nest is literally like the size of $50. coin, like the whole goddamn nest. The nest had eggs in it, hummingbird eggs. They're like jelly beans, teeny tiny little bird eggs. So small, so precious, right? The atmosphere in the Crowder household was electric, dude. Everybody's so pumped about this hummingbird's nest and everything. Katie immediately, she starts Googling hummingbird facts, hummingbird roosting facts. Found out she needs to sit on the eggs 55 minutes out of every hour. She only has 5 minutes per hour to leave and find food. So Katie thought she would put some food closer to the nest. So she went and got 4 different hummingbird feeders and put them in various spots around the nest, because she also read that they have bad eyes and they about damn blind. So she tried to make it to where she would definitely bump into one of them, right, and figure out that there's food there. Apparently they dumb as fuck, but and can't see. But so Katie's trying to take care of her and everyone. Katie also gets your GoPro, actually, that you left out here, and sets up a little streaming situation, a little burb cam, right, near the tree, to where we could watch in there and keep an eye on it, keep an eye on the burbs. I'm posting about this. Everybody's, like I said, everybody's having a good time with it. Last week, right before I left, so like last Tuesday or Wednesday, the eggs hatched. We had little baby burbs, little baby hummingbirds, teeny tiny little burbs. I posted that on the internet too. Update: we got baby humming babies. Everybody, oh, everybody's like, oh, so cute, whatever. They hatch on Tuesday or Wednesday. I do see them. I go to Alabama on Thursday. Friday, second day in Alabama, Katie texts me the terrible, horrible, no good news that the humming babies are gone. Right. And they're nowhere to be found. Now, there's not gore and viscera in their place. Right. So there's that, but they're gone. And there's no other way to interpret that than something got to them. They're way too little to be any kind of self-sufficient. They didn't run off nowhere. They didn't fall out. They weren't on the ground. Like, something got them. Right. So, horrible news, very sad, whatever. Katie texted me about it. We're like, goddamn, what do you think happened? She starts looking it up in here. This is what I want.
Squirrels! Holy shit! Squirrels! No
squirrels,
shit!
Squirrels, chipmunks, blue jays, and crows are all known to eat hummingbird eggs and babies. All right. Also, Katie got this picture with the camera, the burb cam. That is a deviant little fuckhead squirrel on the tree that previously housed these precious little hummingbird babies. All right. So I don't know if a jury would convict him or not, but we've got some compelling evidence here that a fucking squirrel, murderous little rat fucks that they are, killed and ate those hummingbird babies.
Gotta
that was
eat.
the pride
What do you want 'em
of
to
the
eat?
Crowder household. Fucking nuts or something. My point is, they evil. They're not sweet. They're and also that's
Well,
part of
then
my point. My
humans are
secondary
evil
point.
too.
My secondary point is that, which was always really my primary point. Nature's not a Disney movie. It's a fucking heavy metal show. All right.
Right.
It's brutal and
But
hardcore, and
that
it's not
doesn't
sweet.
mean love
and
cannot
it's not
exist.
these
in
little
that.
birds are not like flying little ribbons around the squirrel as
I
they
never
chirp
said that.
songs together and shit like that. They are
Never once
killing
said
each
that.
other
Never once
every
said that.
moment of every day. They're eating each other's babies to survive. All
And
right?
they love their babies. That's all I ever fucking said. That's all I ever fucking said.
Well, the hummingbird don't. According to Google, she probably don't even really know. She done forgot them babies ever existed. That's another element of it. So
They just forget and fucking fly off.
yeah.
Then how
Sometimes
does
they'll
their
just
species
sometimes
fucking
propagate, continue on. I don't know,
Yeah,
but sometimes they'll just they'll just leave them and never come back. Like, so like, fuck them babies, right?
You show me
But
that panda you showed me last week of there's a clip of this panda. God damn it, I wish we could find it. Where they just there's a panda with its baby panda, and then someone just hands the mama panda like a salad, and they just steal the baby, and she's just like, all right.
Apparently, that's the deal. Apparently, any panda will very happily give you their baby in exchange for any type of food at all. Like, you give them an ice cream cone, whatever, and you can just take their baby, and they're totally fine with it. I mean,
The-
maybe people are like, no, pandas, they know these people. They know they're not going to hurt the baby, but they don't seem to give much of a fuck to me.
I was
when I'm
about to
looking
say,
at it.
like, that's wild because, like, everybody knows in the South, like, don't you go near a mama goose when them geeselets are behind her. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
'Cause
well,
they
geese
will
will just fuck you up in general. Like geese are
no,
assholes, dude.
geese will absolutely fuck you up. But my point is, you would think that something that is a bear would do the same thing, but like, nah, just get it a fucking
Dude,
Caesar,
pandas-
and
They are not.
they're a disgrace to the bear name.
But yeah, they ought not count as bears. Like
They're
call them
dogs.
something else. Panda, yeah, panda fluffs. Call them
Yeah,
that.
right.
Panda fats. Katie was overcome with bloodlust after this happened, and started Googling how to poison squirrels in your backyard. And she was like, and my sister too, my little sister was like, she was like, if I was that mama bird, I'd find that squirrel and peck both its goddamn eyes out. That motherfucker. Right. And so like they're hatching schemes about how to take this squirrel down. And me, squirrel hater extraordinaire. I was like, Katie, killing that squirrel will not bring them birds back. Okay. Like, just let it go. I know the motherfucker that did it too, though. That's the thing. It's like he been in my backyard. Like
Yeah, they're territorial. They stay there.
Right, as you said, and he's a little prick, dude. He's always fucking around with shit out here. And he's always like, I swear to God, he'll stare me down sometimes in a like, what motherfucker type of way. Like he's just a little shithead, man. And now he killed our and now he killed our goddamn hummingbird babies. And yeah,
but
and
but
yet
he
you
did it the
continue to
same
go
way.
to bat for these
No,
fucking
because
rodents.
I never because you in that same arena, you killed several chickens last week to feed your family, right? I never said that. I never said right. I never said that animals. It's not metal out there. All my fucking argument ever was is that a mama squirrel loves her baby squirrel. That was it. And this doesn't change none of that. I will concede that they're little fucking maniac monsters. But dude, even Hitler loved David Braun for a minute.
Let me tell you about an animal fact I just read. Now, this is about another type of bird, so it's not a mammal. That is different. But again, even in the mammal world, we're talking about rodents here. So I don't know how different it is. But seagulls, maybe it's a specific species or type of seagull. I'm not sure. But some sort of like ocean chicken, some sort of ocean bird, right?
Yeah.
They have a dot on the end of their beak that their babies poke, right? And when they poke it, that's when they throw up in their mouth, right? You know how birds be throwing up in their mouth. Right?
Yeah.
Like, that's how they do it. They baby bird them. They puke the baby food into the baby's mouth. Yeah. That's how they know to do it. The baby pokes them right here. I'd baby bird you too if it meant saving your life, Yeah. But they poke the mama bird on the dot, and then the mama bird pukes in their mouth.
Like
Everybody's
that's
happy,
like an on switch for puke.
Yes.
That's
and
fucking crazy.
They found scientists found if you cover up that dot, right? And so the baby birds don't, because if they don't see it, they don't know it's there apparently or whatever. But anyway, the baby birds are still there, still hungry, screaming for food, but they cannot poke the dot. The mama bird will just sit there and just let them starve to death.
Just be like, I don't know what you motherfuckers are crying
about. Because it's like, it's straight up pure instinct.
Right.
Like every creature that they all procreate, right? Animals, if they have babies at all that need any kind of care, they can have instincts in them that ensure that they care for the baby, but it don't mean there's any higher order understanding of a fucking parent-child relationship or like familial love the way that humans feel for their babies.
I implore everyone to go back and listen to the episode and show me the point when I said it is exactly the same as a mother and a child.
Man, I never really feel like you did say that.
I mean, here's the deal. I probably fucking did. I don't remember.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is I don't think you're making any new fucking points, and that's a goddamn bird. You know what I mean? Birds are different, man. Birds are fucking wild. Birds are basically dinosaurs.
They are. Yep. Yes.
I didn't know that about the button, though. That's like, I just always assumed, like, and of course, it's just that one species of seagull, but I just assumed that all birds, it was just like, they were like, it's time for me to feed my baby, so I'm a puke in its fucking mouth. But like, how does
Evidently
that?
not.
How does that? So, are you saying that every now and then that dot accidentally gets covered up, and so the babies die, or you're just saying
No, I'm saying like
hypothetically?
some bird doctors did this as an experiment. Science is wild, dude. Now
Did they
I
let
don't
the
know.
birds die?
I I have no idea.
They did.
Knowing how science be, probably. Yeah. Yeah, science is wild as hell.
Savage.
Yeah, I'm not going to bring it up right now because it's something I might talk about in the future. Actually, it's
Okay.
on that same general subject.
I thought it was too gruesome. I was like, all right, come on now.
No, it's just when scientists be doing wild shit like that.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
always
let's
been
do a whole episode on that.
Fascinating subject to me. But anyway, so yeah, I just wanted to update you on the horrific double murder perpetrated
Eldritch
by the squirrel in
terrors,
my
I
backyard.
believe
Yeah,
you've called them.
and just hope that you're happy. But
Well,
anyway,
I am.
Yeah. I didn't tell the internet, by the way. I had been telling them, hey, we got baby birds, whatever. And then I didn't update, hey, they're fucking dead, just so everybody knows. Happy.
We'll put this
hope you're
clip
happy.
out.
Yeah, right. But Katie did. She posted about it or whatever.
Oh, to all her followers?
Yeah, to all, yeah. But I felt like, no reason to bum these people out. They can go on thinking.
They would be mad at you.
Yeah. Right. Instead of being mad at the goddamn squirrel. So, all right. The Met Gala, that's how I've decided I'm going to say it. The Met Gala happened Monday, May 1st. It's the first Monday in May every year. I've known about the existence of the Met Gala for a long time. I've thought it absurd and sortly dumb for that same amount of time, generally speaking. Also, seems like an absolute nightmare scenario to me. Like, I can't imagine many events I'd rather not go to.
I got worse dressed at the MTV Movie Awards.
I was going to bring that up. So since it's come up, let's just go ahead and talk about it. I was going to ask how you felt about the Met Gala in that way. Cause yeah, you did. You walked the red carpet at the MTV Movie Awards. It didn't hit for people, fashion wise.
No, it did not.
So I was wondering what kind of would you try to redeem yourself? Would you show out even harder? Would you even want to go to something like this if you got him back? Cause it's very exclusive, Joe. You don't think your ego would be like, well, I got to go.
Well, no, I do think that, first off, it depends. It depends. Like, if you ask me right this second, right now, it's like, well, dude, it's not like you're crushing it out there. You should go get any publicity that you can. Of course I would go. And just for the sheer fact of I'd like to see what it is. And yes, I do have a big ego. I think that if I know me, I think that if I'd been there once and then I was an established celebrity who didn't need any of that press, I don't think that I would be like, I can't wait till the Met Gala every year. But with dressing for an event like this, there's this crazy line, and we're going to get into some of the pictures later, but where it's like, okay, how could you even, what could you do for people to go, ugh, look at that? Because all of them seem like it's fucking insane. I think what I would do as a commentary, I would go inside of a trash can. I would have a trash can.
People have kind of done stuff like that, by the way. A lot of them over the course of the Met Gala, first of all, you said as a commentary, they love that shit.
They love,
pretty much every year at the Met Gala, somebody making a commentary about something, right? And one year, Riz Ahmed, Riz Ahmed from Rogue One and from
hell yeah,
The Night of, that was a great show that he was in. Anyway, actor, he went one year dressed as sort of trash. He had work boots on and shitty jeans and stuff, and it was playing tribute to hard working immigrant refugees or something like that.
Well, I'd do it. It wouldn't be like that.
But he dressed just blue collar working man, but as a statement, making a statement. Yeah.
I would have to do it more on the nose. I would wear a white jacket and then on the back of it spray paints I'm only here for the free steak or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Because by the way, and I know you're going to tell me, the only thing I know about the Met Gala is this part of it. I don't know what the fuck it's for. I have no idea what it's benefiting. Because to me, from the outside,
it's benefiting something. But you are aware that it's some kind of benefit.
It has to be. They all otherwise, what the fuck would it? Because I know there's no awards because I've never heard afterwards the person that won the block. Because that's why I've always interpreted the Met Gala as the absolute highest level of elite celebrity snobbery, and the reason
Yes,
is because
absolutely.
like with the or there's no fucking point, because like, let me make my case here. I know a lot of people are like, the Oscars don't matter, the Oscars don't matter, and in the grand scheme of the world, it absolutely does not. But we as consumers do get a benefit from the Oscars, because there's a lot of movies that we would have never that would have never been made if someone wasn't trying to win an Oscar. You know what I mean? Because like, some of our favorite movies weren't cash grabs. It was just because this prestigious award exists, and I'm going to make a movie to get that. So like, I do think the Oscars as a thing ends up getting you really good products and the competition. With this dough, it's just dudes wearing bird shoes, right? Like,
yeah. Sometimes meat shoes,
like literally made of meat.
Yeah, Lady Gaga, I think, wore a meat dress one year. I don't remember if it was at this thing or
That's
whatever. I
right.
was just assuming
I think
it was
it
at this
was.
thing. Yeah, but yeah, they'll dress up as a goose. They'll dress up as a butcher shop.
Was that
or
when
a
Bjork did it?
lampshade or whatever? Yeah, Bjork. Yeah, again, I don't know if that was at this event. I just put all of those pictures at this event in my head.
That's what it is. I think that Bjork did it at the Grammys or Oscars, and the Met Gala is just where everyone dresses like Bjork dressed at that normal thing. Like, it's just like, dude, Bjork shit don't even qualify for this stuff.
It was, I think it's one of those things where it's like, they gotta fucking one up each other and everything always, and it's been going for so long at this point, and they've been doing wild shit like this for so long. It's like, what is left to do other than, dress up as a fucking slug or whatever? Like, I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah,
I think that was the Met Gala. Heidi Klum, right?
Yeah.
Heidi Klum.
Either that or
she
throws a
dressed up
Halloween
as
party every year
as a worm, like just a literal worm.
She looked like Alexander, or the Skarsgård, Peter Skarsgård, not Peter, the dad. Stellan. She looked like Stellan Skarsgård from fucking Dune.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty wild. So anyway, they just have to, at some point, it's like, but I was going to say at some point I had to jump the shark, but can something like that even possibly jump the shark? Because if it could, then it did it fucking 10 years ago, right?
Yeah,
like
that's interesting. I'd like to see the first Met Gala, like what those people
They were nothing
wearing.
like this. I could tell you a little bit about them. So it's just some background. It started in 1948. Was the first one. It was started by fashion publicist Eleanor Lambert, who was part of this fashion board in New York. She was the same person who started New York Fashion Week, which was, how there's like Paris Fashion Week, Milan Fashion Week. First one ever was New York. This lady started it in 1942, which is like, to me, 1942 is kind of a funny time to start a fashion week
because of the war.
It's like, kind of had some other shit going on. It's like,
I'm sure that was the reasoning. Because, like,
this will help everyone's spirits.
Yeah. Well, like, that's the thing about, like, celebrities. And, like, you hear it in a bunch of Oscar speeches, like when, like last year with the whole Ukraine stuff, there were people like, what we do is lift people's spirits during these hard times. Everyone needs a distraction. And so, like, that in their brain, they're like, we've got a war going on. I know what we should do. Walk really weird down this strip of fucking tarmac.
And I guess that's what they did. But she had done that already. 6 years later, in 1948, she founds the Met Gala because there was the Metropolitan Museum of Art had just obtained or absorbed or started or whatever a costume institute. So it's like a wing of the Met, right? The Metropolitan Museum of Art that's dedicated to artistic costume, just the artwork of
like
costumes and costuming, movies and plays and shit like that originally, yes, but not just that. They also, over the years they've done samurai outfits, like cultural ones too, not just like from pop culture, but they've done both. But that was new in 1948. The Met just started the Costume Institute. And so she started the Met Gala as a fundraiser for the newly founded Costume Institute, right? To this day, that's what it raises money for.
Okay.
The costume wing of the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And look, dude, museums are awesome. They are. But it costs $50,000 a plate to go to this thing, right? They raise to this point, they've raised over $250 million. The costume room needs $250 million. Like, what are they doing with that? Like,
okay. I'm so glad I said what I said earlier then, because like after you said it is raising money for something, I was like, well, if they say it's animal rights or like fucking child trafficking or some shit, I'm gonna be on board. But dude, I'm now even further convinced that the Met Gala is the absolute peak fucking bullshit Hollywood snobbery. The goddamn, if they just said museums, like if it was just like, this is for the museum, I'd be like, that's fucking okay. You know, somebody, they got to get the money from somewhere. Like, cannot a little bit of that go to the library? $50,000 a plate.
right. And to be fair, maybe they do some of that. I don't know. I just know that like that's what they are actually raising money for, is the Costume Institute at the Met. That's the purpose of the gala. She started in 1948. For the first 30 years, roughly, it was kind of just another New York high society evening. Just, prominent Manhattanites would pay $50 a plate, which, 1948, not cheap, but it ain't fucking 50
It's
grand
about $1,800.
to go to this. That's how it was for the first 30 years. In the 70s, this lady who had been the editor-in-chief of, I think, Harper's Bazaar, one of those, Diana Vreeland, she took over for the first lady in 1972, and she started to push it into a celebrity affair. This really took off in 1974 when she got Jackie O to co-host the event with her,
That's a
or
good
co-chair the event or whatever. And then that sort of started it on its way. And that before you know it, you got Elton John, Liza Minnelli, Elizabeth Taylor, Andy Warhol, whoever. And then it, just grows year by year into the shit show of extravagance that we know today. The lady who runs it today, her name's Anna Wintour. She's the editor-in-chief of Vogue, and also, by all reports, the person that The Devil Wears Prada is based on.
Oh, God.
So, yeah. Bit of a
Jesus
cunt.
Christ. Yeah,
She's
bit of a
British, so I
cult.
can say that.
Yeah, of course. I assume that John Wayne never attended one of these, but how awesome would it be if there was a picture of John Wayne dressed as a fucking mermaid or something?
Yeah, that would hit. That also, they have a theme every year. It's usually fashion related. Like it'll be a famous designer or whatever, or it's like Chinese fashion, whatever, just shit like that. This year it was Karl Lagerfeld, who was
He just
some
died, yeah.
right, yeah, and he was a designer or whatever. So, and he had a cat, which will come up later. So they have a theme every year. It's got more and more out of control over the years. People now, a lot of times, the celebrities, they want to make a splash, court some controversy, get some headlines, that type of thing. As with everything with them, it's all about attention. So that's what the Met is and what it's for, the Met Gala, rather. So I guess now we can take a look at some of this year's
Please.
Some of this year's notable luminaries and their sartorial choices. Your dad, Big BPP, Big Papa Producer, put these together and sent them to us. He's going to put them up on the screen for you guys to see. Should I read his review first?
Yes.
Do you think?
Wait. No, I can't decide. Maybe we should look at them all and then read it.
I don't know. I think you can. I just want to read it.
Okay, kick it off. This is BPP's review.
This is Corey's dad, BPP, giving his review of the outfits on display. He said, some of the wilder Met Gala stuff this year. Personally, I think Little Nas stole the show, wearing nothing but a metallic thong, silver body paint, and jewels. Of course, you had Jared Leto. Pedro Pascal looked stunning, as did Bad Bunny, who was a study in white. I thought that was very well done, very tastefully executed. So on that last note, we have Bad Bunny here. This is the first picture y'all are going to see. Now, who is that, Joe? That a rapper?
It is a rapper, and the only reason that I know is because he did something on Monday Night Raw, and so all my wrestling fans were talking about, they were like, yo, did you see Bad Bunny on Raw last night? And I was like, wait a minute. In my brain, I was like, did the WWE go back to the 90s stuff and now they've literally got like a bunny character or something like that? And I was told then that he's a hip hop Is that it? Is that what he does? Hip hop?
Puerto Rican rapper, evidently.
Okay.
As I've chronicled before on our various
He's
podcasts.
huge, though.
I know that's what I was about to say. In fairness, dude, anybody that's at this is probably some degree of huge, and I know that. It's just I have what I call early onset papaw.
Me too.
In terms of music, in particular. Again, we talked about on the Well Read podcast before, but I just have not really listened to new music in literally years at this point. I just have what hit for me when I was younger, and I guess those are the things that will hit for me until the day I die. And I haven't been adding new things. So, I mean, he's been around for a while, I'm sure, but
Yeah.
I don't know any of his work. But what do you think about this ensemble here?
Well, first off, it is classy, and it's like he's
Those
almost
roses.
I believe those are roses. So at first glance, it looks like very normal. White suit, white shirt, white tie, very Puerto Rican, white shoes. You know what? I mean, it's a compliment. But then, like, the only thing that really makes this where it's like, okay, that's annoying is like, it's basically like a wedding veil, right? Like somebody's going to have to carry that behind him, correct?
Not a veil, right? The veil goes over your head. It's
Right.
a
Well,
train, right? Don't they call it a
train.
train? The train of
train.
a dress or whatever. Yeah, he got a big long ass train. I mean, practicality doesn't factor into these
Of course, you
equations
got
much for these
people.
people. They got minions there to carry your tail of white roses. But that's still got to be at least a little bit of a pain in the ass. Is that? It's not a tat. It's like a gigantic white rose scarf
That
he's
just
wrapped
got around
his
yep.
arms that he's dragging behind him.
Yes, and again,
Okay.
I got to say, like, as far as the outfits that I've seen at this Met Gala, like this one is, as funny as it sounds to say, sort of understated. You know what I mean? It's just white.
I mean, I mean, per the standards of this particular event, yes, indeed. Let's see here. I just wanted to look it up. Let's see. A shawl that becomes a floral train.
Okay.
That's technically what that is. I was hoping to find some sort of, like, if they gave an explanation for it, like what
Right.
this is meant to represent or something, but I guess they didn't. So yeah,
I think, I mean, I give it an A+.
he just like
man.
white.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, you know,
Next
classy
up.
Puerto Rican guy.
Next up, that's Janelle Monáe.
Okay.
Okay, she's a singer, right? Who also acts. Wasn't she in
Yes.
the new Knives Out movie?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, crushed it in that movie.
Yeah, she was great in that. She's obviously phenomenally talented. Appears to be dressed as a black traffic cone or an upside down megaphone or a lampshade. Something
It looks like
that very conical,
Yeah.
conical in nature, with some wild ass moon boots underneath it.
Yeah, she's
And,
very gorgeous, obviously. But this outfit, there was an episode of South Park where Cartman dressed up like a pilgrim, and that's kind of what this looks like.
Yeah.
She's wearing, hold on, those platforms, by the way, are not the whole shoe. She's got regular shoes on, and then those shoes are strapped into that platform, I think.
I've also found out a very, very important detail about this ensemble. That overcoat there that she's wearing, that comes off, and the lampshade underneath is transparent, so you
Ooh.
could see her negligee. So without the overcoat on, it's some titty and butt action going on underneath there.
Well, he moves ahead of Bad Bunny.
Yeah, it is a good move. She was accompanied by two men wearing suits who had to take that coat off of her.
I love that.
Yeah,
I mean, you know,
how much you think they get paid? I mean, I'm sure those are people that do other things. They're just assistants or whatever that work for them in general, probably. Or do you think you got to go out and find a separate, decoder?
I'm trying to think of, like, if I had people that work for me, would I want to further humiliate them by just having them disrobe me? And I think yes. I think I would definitely do that. So
sure.
Yeah, those are probably just like her standard, dudes that.
How do you feel about human furniture, Joe? Would you get into that? Like, have a minion serve as your ottoman, like in the show Succession, something like that?
Yeah, so We were talking about wrestling just a minute ago with Bad Bunny. MJF, who I think you're at least vaguely familiar with MJF.
He's like a heel, like he's
Yeah.
like a super rich, like douchebag character. or something?
Yeah, exactly. You know, really, really good old school type heel. And the dude is committed to it, man. I mean, he does a great job. When we were at Starcade in Chicago, he's there, and he made first off, he made his meet and greet the most expensive meet and greet there. Even though he wasn't the most famous person there, he made his meet and greet the most expensive there because, and I quote, "I don't want to have to see the pores." Number two, when people would go take a picture with him, he would just be asleep on his table. So they just took a picture with an asleep MJF. But when he was relaxing, he had a guy who was one of my buddies who was working at Starcade. At the beginning of the week, he gives him like a handful of money and goes, "Hey, go get a tuxedo." And the guy's like, "Okay." And he goes, "All right." So he goes and gets a tuxedo. And for the whole week, whenever MJF wanted to sit down, he had that guy on all fours using him as an ottoman.
Yeah.
So I'm for it in the
Classic
right
move.
Yeah, I'm for it in the right application is what I'm saying. Human furniture.
What's great about that is, and I mean, obviously this kind of goes without saying really, but like that's such a perfect and phenomenal character to play as a wrestler
great.
because like you get
no
to
wrong.
do all that like as a bit, as like, you know, you're the bad guy. It's satirical, really. You're making fun of those people, but you still are doing all of that.
Yes,
right.
But
you know what I mean?
But you get that pass where it's like,
right, you
the
get a
line?
pass. It's like making his meet and greet the most expensive one there, like for a hilarious reason. That's all great, but like it still was the most expensive one there.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like you can,
and people bought it.
people pay. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You can
And
do that and like get away with it, and it's pretty brilliant, really.
Dude, kids come up to him like on the street or like after the shows and ask for autographs, and he tells them to go fuck themselves, and they love it. They love it. Like, yeah, he's got the best gig in the business.
What's his backstory like?
Well,
for the character was.
Oh, the backstory for MJF, the character, just that, I mean, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, he's, you know, he was an aspiring wrestler when he was a kid. This is true, by the way. A lot of it is just true. He and they unveiled this footage on AEW. He actually was on the Rosie O'Donnell show as a like 5-year-old, because he wanted to. He had two dreams in life: either to be an opera singer or a professional wrestler. And on Rosie, he sang some opera songs. And dude, the most charismatic kid you've ever seen. And that got dug up when he's out as this badass MJF. And so now that is part of the MJF character, that yes, I was that kid. You know, I wanted to be an opera singer, but I found out that I'm the baddest motherfucker on earth.
Singing opera at an early age. Like, is he from like a wealthy family or back? Because that sounds like some rich kid shit. Like, ain't no poor kid singing opera at 5. I don't think.
When he was on Rosie, man, he was wearing like a Tommy Hilfiger shirt. Like, I don't think he was perfect. I think he was
maybe
just a kid.
more of a Tanya Harding type situation.
Yeah, man. That's what I think, because like he didn't seem like, oh, this is the next pro. Like, and he was pretty good for a 5-year-old. I think he just had a lot of personality, and he just liked to show out, you know. And
we don't know that he's trash. He probably was just a regular standard childhood thing or whatever. But anytime trash infiltrates any of that, always hits for me.
Love it.
I can't think of any other good examples right now other than Tanya Harding. But yeah, she's a good one. It's funny because, like, you know, she, you know, crippled that one lady, and that ain't cool. But you know, other than that, she hit for me.
Do you think that if you put out a poll of people asking where people that didn't know where Tanya Harding was from, and you put out a poll, do you think that most of the answers would be from the southern United States, even though she's from Oregon?
Based on everything that most people like know about her, sure. The only caveat I would give is because her thing was ice skating in particular.
That's true.
Which like is not much of a thing in the South. Like, we don't hardly play hockey. We don't fuck with ice as a general rule in the South. Let's see. Moving on to the next one. One of my favorites from this year. We got Jared Leto. Is it Leto or Leto? What is it?
I've always said Leto.
Me too. But I don't know
because I'm a Boz Scaggs fan.
Jared Leto.
Yeah.
dressed head to toe as a kitty cat. A very, very well executed kitty
Yeah.
costume.
And that's Carl
Um,
Lagerfeld's cat,
cat.
right?
Yeah. The guy that the theme was based around this year, that was apparently his cat. And
They with all these so far, this is the only one that I hate, and I think it's because it's him. I think that
yeah,
if Bad Bunny was dressed like a bad kitty, I'd been like, that's rad. But like,
if you see, it's a good point, because if you're there, which we would never be allowed, but if you were there, and you see him in the full costume with the hat on and everything, you're like, oh,
Yes.
kitty,
Yeah.
that's cool. It's like what a realistic and cute kitty costume. And then the kitty takes his head off and it's him. You're definitely gonna be like, oh, god damn it.
Exactly.
No. I was hoping you were Colin Hanks,
I think you're right. I do think Leto is like, he's the perfect representative of the Met Gala. You know what I mean? Like, if I had to pick a celebrity to go, what celebrity is the epitome, like I said, of this sort of thing? Like, he's it, number one, like beyond a shadow of a doubt. Because like the first two that we mentioned here, like, I otherwise am like, yeah, those are cool people that got invited to the Met Gala. But with him, I'm just like, dude, he was begging to come to this shit. He was scratching at the door. He fucking don't hit. He don't hit, right?
I feel like by most all accounts, he don't hit. He's one. I think he, like, for one thing, I'm pretty sure he does that method type of acting, which is like some of the greatest actors on earth do it. But he's one of those that takes it to another level. I think. I don't know how much of this is true, but there were rumors when he was like when he was the Joker, he himself like sent his fellow castmates, like he shipped them like
bombs?
Dead animals or something like that. God. And like, or used condoms or both, like just gross shit. And it's just like, cause I guess he thinks that's what the Joker would do. And I was like, the Joker would be a little more clever about it than that. I feel like it's like the 6th grade version of the Joker maybe. But I don't know if that's true, but he does that type of thing. He also, rumors have abounded on the internet for a very long time that he basically has a cult mostly made up of young girls, right?
Makes sense.
So like a cult with an island, all that shit, his head is firmly entrenched in his own ass, that type of thing. I mean, yeah, I'm definitely with you that he don't hit. I saw a picture of him at a previous Met Gala. He was dressed as like a vampire's boyfriend, right? And his accessory for it, like you might have a purse or a handbag or something, his accessory was a replica of his own head. So that's fun.
Imagine all that stuff you were talking about, him putting the casting crew through, like the dead animals. Imagine going through all of that, and then when they saw the first cut of Suicide Squad,
right?
And they were like, for that, motherfucker. Dude. Like Heath Ledger, at least you're like, okay, and we got that out of it.
Yeah, Daniel Day-Lewis too, the most famous example. It's like he's
my left foot.
Absurd, dude. It's not just my left foot. Like he.
Oh, I know, but that was
who was it? Yeah, my left foot. He played a paraplegic.
He made everybody
made everybody carry him around because he can't walk. When he did Lincoln, he was to be referred to only as Mr. President or President Lincoln.
That's fine.
And that type. Yeah, but it went beyond that. There was some.
No,
God damn it!
I'm just saying that little part of it.
I just heard a story about the set of Lincoln where it was like, somebody in the production, I feel like, texted him or something. And when they texted him, they're like, Daniel, they're ready for you at the whatever. And he texted back, it's Mr. President, please. Or something like that. Yeah, right. And it's like, that yeah, pretty sure Lincoln didn't have an Android or whatever.
Dude, that reminds me, you remember that time me, you, and Bryce, I can't remember where the fuck we were, but we went to like a old school speakeasy type gin bar or something like that. And I knew it was an old school speakeasy, didn't realize it was just specifically gin. And I asked the dude for like a vodka tonic or something. He's like, no, we are here. We take it seriously. Nothing that you couldn't get past this date or whatever, blah, blah, blah. By the way, the Wi-Fi password is blah, 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 blah. Right. And I'm like, Brody, come on, man, do it all the way.
Yeah, I know it's a little, but I've always just the whole method acting thing. It's just always been hard for me.
If you can do it,
like
not be a dick,
to deal with. Right,
that's fine.
But it feels like it's hard for them to not You know what I mean? It feels like being a dick is kind of part and parcel to the whole experience somehow if you're going to be doing that. And it's just like, whatever. I get everybody's got their own process or whatnot, but like, it ought not be fucking up everybody else's day. You know what I mean?
Who was the guy that said he said it to Rain Man Dustin Hoffman? Yeah, who was it?
Sir Laurence Olivier, I think. I think that's who it was. It was somebody like that, somebody on that level. They were in a movie together, I think like Marathon Man or something like that. And Dustin Hoffman's character was supposed to have been up, like running from the authorities or something for like 3 or 4 days. So Dustin Hoffman, the actor, did not sleep or shower for 3 or 4 days. Then they had a scene together, and Olivier asked him, why, what was up? What, why you stink? Why you stink and look like shit? And he explained, because the character, so he hadn't done that. And then reportedly Olivier, if it was Olivier, then said to him, "My dear boy, have you tried acting?" Which is like,
that's exactly how I feel about it.
What else needs to be said, dude? It's like, that's
Laurence
like,
Olivier.
That's the perfect, that's exactly how I feel about it. You know what I mean? And again, like Daniel Day-Lewis, like, dude, he's like the GOAT, maybe.
Yeah, so you can't really say anything.
It's hard to argue with its effective, but it's like, I bet he would hit if he wasn't doing that.
He would.
Too,
Meryl Streep don't do that, and she's the GOAT.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you.
I don't know. Let's see here. I just wanted to. It was Laurence Olivier, and it was Marathon Man.
Nice, dude. Look at you.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, I don't know who that is. Do you know who that is? It's in the red.
No,
decked out in red.
I don't, but I'm certain
nice
that
looking young black feller.
I'm certain that I like them
with a belt harness. Of sorts.
This is kind of good. I like this. Yeah. I mean, no one's you're not wearing a helmet. No one's having to carry anything. And dude, if you just take the belt harness off, like it's just a very, I mean, don't get me wrong. He kind of looks like a Daredevil villain a little bit.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a little bit like Hunger Gamesy. You know what I mean? Like in the Capitol or something like that. Like, but you got to do something. You can't just wear just a regular red suit. You got to spice it up somehow. So he went with a belt harness.
I think
boots and gloves.
I think for the Met Gala, it's very understated. And I mean, it's hard to argue that it doesn't pop. It does pop. It's a wonderful color. I give this an A for sure.
Moving on to the next one, BPP's personal favorite, your dad's standout, Lil Nas X.
Dressed as the shape of water.
Literally resplendent in jewels and body paint and an eyes wide shut mask. And also he got claws. So he got like demon hands. So that hits.
He's very Guillermo del Toro-ish looking.
Is that a mask or is that a bunch of shit that's attached to his face?
I think both. Okay, no. I think the top part is definitely a mask because obviously it's like protruding out. But that bottom part, I think that he's just been like bejeweled like some women do to their jeans.
Yes, I agree.
Because they've clearly done it to the rest of his body. But like, I bet you that mask is also glued onto his face because you can't be doing all that and then have the little fucking nylon string around your ears. You know what I mean? That ain't the look.
I was gonna say something about eating, but like these people probably don't eat there anyway, right? They don't eat ever.
No, it's just for the plate, not for the food. I mean, dude, you gotta be some type of confident to pull this off. Lil Nas X is definitely that. This is another example of if Jared Leto looked like this, I would hate it. But with Lil Nas X, man, nothing but respect. Nothing but respect to him. It is a little like, again, I literally look at this and think that this is the fish lady or the fish dude from The Shape of Water. But it's a choice.
Yeah, it's absolutely a choice. How long do you think it take to get into and out of that? Hours, right? Hours and hours on both end, probably.
Yeah, because like you got to figure they've done body paint all over, and like with that type of body paint, like you're not just spraying it on one coat and being like that's good. Like they're gonna have especially because as you can see here, on his abs and stuff, they have definitely contoured. I mean, he's in shape. Don't get me wrong. Or they are in shape. Don't get me wrong. But they've definitely contoured it. There's different shades of gray that are going on here. So, like, I don't know. I'm saying 5 hours for this.
I mean, I bet probably take a long time. We got 2 more. Let's do them real quick. Next up, our man Pedro Pascal there.
Love it.
You know, him and that other fellow with the belt harness, I wonder if they ran into each other and was like, well, one of us is going to have to change.
I'll take off my pants.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, Pedro went pantsless and took his belt harness off, and then there you have it. I saw a clip of him from a previous Met Gala where somebody was just taking a selfie in the room, and they're like scanning across the room, and you could see Pedro Pascal sleeping in a chair in the middle of the Met Gala, which hit for me. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love this guy. I mean, I love the sort of red camel hair. Well, I guess it's not camel hair's a color, but like I like the trench. I like if I'm him, I probably would have hit the tanning bed or at least a spray tan before pulling my legs out like that. But I'm not Pedro Pascal. I don't have one of the number one shows on HBO. You know what I mean? And the Mandalorian. So I think he's pulling it off well. And yeah, I just love that guy. I would have loved to have seen him be like, I'm not going to the Met Gala. Fuck that. But if he has to be here, looking a little though. Now that I'm looking at it, sort of looks like a little Dutch boy with them shorts. You know what I mean? Like them little cloggers or whatever.
Yeah.
I would have gone with some clogs.
It's an
what would you wear?
Interesting choice. It would have to be something sort of like
Vols
Riz
jersey?
Ahmed did, I think. Something that like I would say was ironic, or you know what I mean, but that really it's just me being my trash self pretty much, you know. Fucking Wranglers, you know. I don't know. Just something to be a smart ass about it. But anyway, that's the Met Gala. That's the thoughts on it. And I guess so. We don't really have time to get into the other thing, which is okay. Did we even say what it was? Because
we did. We told them we was talking about the coronation. But honestly, this is a good
That'll be
thing
next
because
week.
and this is a good thing in my opinion because I'm going to watch it. I already have my thing done. It's absolutely perfect to me. But of course, I wanted to get into some airmail. And I forgot to mention this last time because I'm an idiot. You can send your airmail to puttingonairs@gmail.com. We've had some absolutely lovely ones. We're loving your limericks. So let's start off with another limerick. This is from... Well, the email is Oryer Ringzel. They said you can use my name, but the email is Oryer Ringzel. All right.
Ringzel?
Yeah, like OYER.
Is that fucking Rumpelstiltskin's cousin or something? Like, what is that?
It's OYERINGSL. That's who it is. They can also be addressed as the Limerick Queen. So here you go.
Well, that's presumptuous, but okay, go ahead.
Right. While checking out Puttin' on Airs, people fall off of their chairs, laughing about fads and tiny art nads and rich people's silly affairs. The diagrams labeled as Venn, Trae and Corey will shovel stuff in, illustrate to the fans that the lads got their hands on good stuff POA for the win. The podcast with Corey and Trae, known to us by the name POA, is goofy and fun and certainly one you can masturbate to any day. Nice. Thank you. It is known that the squirrels love a nut and that witches must kiss the devil's butt. It really must hit to come up with this shit. So I wonder what won't make the cut. It's probably obvious that I just ripped those out really fast. But when you said y'all like limericks, I was like, woo-wee, they're going to get some. I will see you boys tonight in Little Rock. Oh, appreciate you, Olivia Powers, for coming to the show in Little Rock last weekend. Yeah, we really appreciate that.
We met her afterwards. She told us about those.
She did, but she didn't actually tell us the limericks, though, did she?
No, she didn't recite them to us. She told us that they were in the inbox.
Well, I'm so glad that was one of my random scroll throughs. Fantastic.
Was it? Because it's funny because before you even started, I remembered that it happened, right? And I remembered you told her, you're like, what? Tell me. Okay, I'm gonna make damn sure and read those. All right. And I remember when you said that, I was like, he ain't gonna make damn sure and read those. But then you did.
Wait,
so
you know
I was wondering if you remembered or not.
Hold on. I
It'd be funny if
remember
that was
what
a different person after the show who also wrote limericks, and they're both listening right now.
Here's
You know what
why-
I mean?
But here's why I know that she listened to me. I remember now what I said. I go, make sure you put limericks real big in the subject line and I'll see it. And that's
Mhm.
exactly what she did. And I called it. So, like, I technically did do the thing that I said I
You
was
did.
going to do.
You're right.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you for that. This is from, well, I don't know if they want me to say it. But the subject line is The Shameful Kiss. Greetings, my dudes. Ghost the band. Ghost has a banger called Kiss the Go-Goat with the line Satan, Lucifer, Osculum, Obscenium, and then makes a kissy sound. The song is about how you won't get power doing black magic until you dedicate yourself to the devil via the obscene kiss. Nice.
Uh-huh.
Unfortunately, as I'm also a pervy kind of girl, I immediately started snort laughing while you two were talking about the kiss because my brain asked me if giving Tom Ellis, Lucifer, a rim job is such a steep price to get dark powers. Admit it, you'd give it a moment's consideration. Cheers, gents.
I mean, if you know for sure that it works, and you're
doing
going to
it.
have actual magical powers after
Yeah.
that,
100%.
I don't know that I'd want to be in the devil's thrall, which I'm assuming is a huge
Yeah.
part of it. If it could be a one night stand with the devil's butthole, you know,
I'm
where
in.
it's like,
Yeah.
I, toss you up real good, and then you give me magic powers forever, but we don't have to fuck with each other anymore after that. Yeah, I'd
And
do that for sure.
I would 100% sell my soul to the devil. Like I would like in a second. Subject line. Now hear me out because I know you like to eat.
Got that right.
Hey, y'all, love the show. Here's a topic for the Venn diagram. Pasta. I would love to hear y'all compare handmade carbonara to a can of chili mac. They both hit in their own way, but are so entirely different. Chef Boyardee really did change the game of Italian food from nothing in America to a cheap but tasty food. There are some super fancy Italian places all over the country. One can't really exclude the Olive Garden. Colonel B. Jesse Ray. Hey, fellow Colonel. What do you think about that, Trae?
I wrote it down in my notes. I love me some pasta. I can tell you that much. So, yeah, we'll look into it a little further. Do you remember the actual name of the place in Georgetown that we go to that we call Pasta Mama?
No, but it's fucking fantastic.
So funny because I don't either. Like
but I know how to get there.
We just call it Pasta Mama, but it's in the Georgetown part of DC. Fucking absolutely, and it's something of an institution. I think they've got pictures on the wall
it's
of
Clinton's favorite place.
presidents eating there and stuff. So like, it's a pretty big deal, I think. And as soon as you walk through the door on the right, there's an old Italian nonna. I think they call them nonnas.
Nona or Nana.
There,
yeah.
Nona making pasta with her bare hands. As soon as we walked in there a little high for the first time.
Yeah.
Corey like slapped me on the chest. He was like, bro, and pointing out. And I looked over there and I saw that little old Italian mama sitting there making pasta, and immediately I was like, "Whoo, God damn, you know, this place is what's up,"
and it were. Yeah, it is, and we go back every time. Last but not least, subject line: a proposal. This is from Andrea. Corey and Trae, not necessarily for reading on the podcast. Oh, she said not necessarily for reading on the podcast. Well, we're here, baby. But a more general idea. What I really want is a goop equivalent from the well-read ladies, Paige, Amber, Katie, and or whoever else y'all got for funny. Andy, salty women in your life. Call it goob or some derivative. Make it a podcast a little like Putting on Airs, comparing what the rich heifers are up to compared to those of us who own on board with and couldn't afford anyways, a jade hoo-ha egg. Just a thought. I'd be the first subscriber. Love y'all. I mean, if we could actually convince them to do it, that would hit.
It
but
would be
therein
funny.
lies the problem.
I'd love to hear Andy, Drew's wife, split the hairs between between what is bullshit,
She is the Venn diagram.
and what she's into. Yeah, she is the Venn diagram of that. Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of. I bet she don't fuck with goop in general because of the like, rich bitch nature of it. But
she
the
goopy.
Goopy. She's like. And I mean this with all the love in the world. She's like trash goopy,
Yep, she's very trash goopy.
Yeah.
That's true.
So
Well, there you have it for the airmail. Thank y'all for joining us on this very special Met Gala edition. Next week, I will be talking about the coronation. We really appreciate y'all liking, downloading, subscribing, and telling your friends. And remember to go rate us 5-star review. Well, excuse me, Porky Pig. Go rate us 5 stars if you haven't. It really, really, really helps the show. Continue telling everybody. Send us your letters at puttingonairs@gmail.com. Be good to each other and stay fancy, motherfuckers.
skew-ways. Skew.
Here's Lydia Lovelace.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Royalty and rednecks are alike. They both like cutting and picking fights. Biscuits and baked beans where they don't belong. Sit on down with Corey and Trae and learn some fancy shit today. We'll laugh a little even when they're wrong. They'll take you to a magical place where if you call someone a cunt, nobody cares. They keep it debonair at putting on airs, putting on airs, putting on